Hey everyone, it's Lynn's Learned English. Today I'll continue sharing my thoughts on the book entitled Communication Skills Training by James W. Williams, but this time in chapter 2. How is your communication? Because there are times that we may be encountering some barriers. I too can experience some barriers. I found out that the most common barrier in communication that we may face ahead is our environment because of some unexpected noise. Noise can be a means of distraction, like who among of us here want to have a communication while somebody else is playing some music loudly? It can be irritating, which I could relate. I am guilty with that. Another thing, we have already known that we speak different dialects and languages because we don't have the same nationality sometimes. Although English language is a universal language for international communication, there are still some people who don't know how to speak in English yet and may find it hard to speak in English. It can cause a barrier. Next, we can sometimes have an anxiety in speaking in front of the people because of stage fright, and it's okay. However, it can be a hindrance for you may fail to deliberate your message clearly. At this point, it is quite related to the state of the speaker because it can cause some barriers. As you can observe, if the speaker shared something disagreeing with the audience, then they are not receptive. On the other hand, if the speaker said something that is meant to agree with the audience, then they are receptive enough because it is easy to acknowledge the information due to some factual considerations. For example, when the speaker shared his so she said, "He is so handsome." The audience can either agree with or not. You may hear from somebody else, "I don't think so," or "she may be right," depending on how the audience knew what was referring by the speaker. Moving on, what interests me most is the cultural barrier because it is true to life. Let us consider someone is a religious person. Somebody invited to come at the club, so she accepted for the reason maybe not wanting to disappoint anyone. I hope not literally in life. When she came inside the club, she got a culture shock because she didn't get to used to be in that situation. Somebody were saying the and there's some undesirable words. You know what I mean? Or wild with the statement, "Shh, I don't like her. She's a." The next time that she will receive another invitation, she may decline because she cannot get along with them. As for another barrier, which is called attitude barrier, could affect in the way you set your own boundary. You will only allow less interaction with other people because of being an introverted person. Let us put in this situation. You may have a problem in exploring new friendships and developing relationships. Lastly, the most unique is the organizational barrier. I thought I haven't encountered this one yet. I could remember now. One time, our team leader announced in our private group chat the list of people to come at the office. When we had our meeting aside for annual contract, we were informed to expect a salary increase. Notwithstanding, we were told to not disclose on how much money was added in our salary. Once this confidential information was known to everybody, we can be sanctioned consequently. It can cause barrier in the way that it can affect your relationship among the other staff because they may ask concerning the meeting. If not informing, it would be rude for them to understand. In this chapter, I found out that we may have some misconceptions in communication. These are called myths. Myths are the false beliefs. Let us start with myth one. Listening skills are not needed. Do you agree with this statement? I don't agree with this statement because I believe listening skills are always needed. How can you answer a question if you haven't been listening the entire time? Let's just say you are asked this kind of question. Where do you live? The answers could be the following. I live in Cebu City. I am currently living at Bombshell Babag, Lapu-Lapu City. This can be the answers. When I got distracted, I can answer, I came from the market. Do you think the interviewer wouldn't ask herself, did this person listen to me? At that point, it's a lapse. Next myth, sharing of information is the same as communicating. I thought this is a true statement. I found out that sharing of information is not the same as communicating. Sharing of information can be the role of these following persons: informant, speaker, reporter, poet, and etc. They have the audience who listen. Communicating usually involves more than two persons to have a communication. There can be an interpersonal communication among the persons. Myth 3. You must only share the message in one way for optimum effect. I believe that what works with me may not work with anyone. What works with anyone may not work with me. We have this what we call preference. So we have the free will to choose what's best. Let's just say I am currently studying right now. Of course, we have some instructors. However, we can also need some other resources so we can understand more the lesson. Lastly, constant communication is always good. I discovered that it's not a good thing. I can be a constant communicator sometimes, and as I can observe, somebody else may find me as an irritating person. I can also find it an irritating to have that kind of person. As much as possible, do not use repeatedly words. Make sure that you talk with sense with anyone, and do not um, share information that can ruin somebody. I think that's all for this. Thank you.